Good Erev Shabbos and Parshas Behar-Bechukosai, Shabbos Chazak, Shabbos Nevarach in the month of Sivan. Getting ready for Matan Torah. Today's Devar Torah is sponsored in honor of Naomi Bas Yehuda David, my brother-in-law Yosef Yitzchak Merazov's mother, who just passed away today. May her Hashem have an Aliyah and be a Me'el Yesher, a good advocate for the family. So we learned this morning, the Rebbe says about the pasuk, the opening verse of the second Parshas Behar-Bechukosai, that we know this, if the Medrash says, and Rashi quotes it, that this is referring to a person has to toil in Torah, because although the word chukim is one of the name for mitzvahs, commandments, however, the pasuk continues, Ves mitzvahisai tishmaru, you should watch my mitzvahs. So what's Bechukosai, with my chukim teilechu, you should be a person of movement? It's referring to toiling in Torah. The question is, why do we use the word chukim when it comes to toiling in Torah? There's other expressions we could use. The word chakika means, first it means an idea that it's a mitzvah that is not understood. It means that we don't understand them when we do them because we accept the yoke of Hashem. So too, when we study Torah and we toil in Torah, we have to do it in such a way as we're accepting the yoke, the oil of Hashem. And also chukah is engravement, to engrave, which become one with us. And how does it become one with us, and how do we become one with Torah and God, is when we do the Torah and we learn the Torah in such a way that is because we accept the yoke of Hashem, not because we understand it or because we enjoy it. But what is the idea of teilechu? What does it mean to be movement when we study Torah in a way of Kabbalah Sol, of accepting the yoke, of bittul, of oisius hachakika, letters that are engraved, we become one with Torah and Hashem? What does it mean to become with movement? So the Rebbe says, the school teacher will say, that when you do study Torah, that's your path, so you'll get all the blessings. But the idea of teilechu, of movement, seems to be more. And therefore the Rebbe says is that the limitations that we find, that when a person has to accept the yoke, means that you don't understand. It's beyond our comprehension. We reach the point of our max, so we shouldn't stay there and always have the max we could reach is up to this point. What today is the accepting the yoke, what today is not understood, what today is beyond our comprehension, so that's tomorrow, that's going to become the basics, that's going to become understood. We constantly are moving, we constantly pushing the boundaries. So the movement is talking about the boundaries, that the boundaries, that was what yesterday was our limit, today is also something that's regular, and we have our boundaries have been pushed forward. Alter Rebbe says, and I want to focus on this, the idea of teilechu means that if you want to find movement in your life, you have to accept Torah in such a way of Kabbalah Sol and becoming one, like the oisius hachikika, the letters that become engraved. And I think this is a very interesting insight, what the Rebbe is saying in the name of the Alter Rebbe, is that there's no such thing as a person who doesn't have an agenda. There's always an objective of a reason why. As much as a person wants to say that I'm like a white piece of paper and everything, I'm open to any kind of study, there's always some sort of agenda angle, whether by the teacher or the student or a society around us. And the Torah says that's just the way it is. So the Torah is saying, Im Bechukosai, the Alter Rebbe says, if your agenda is my agenda, if your agenda is because you're subservient to the Hashem, you accept the yoke, you become one, you lose your whole identity, like letters that are written in a stone have no identity, they're in the stone themselves. If that's your agenda in the Bechukosai, then you're going to find true teilechu. You're going to have true opportunities for movement, for expansion. To really expand is not that your agenda should be something about you, but your agenda has to be something higher than yourself. And that is about Hashem, about dir b'tachtonim, making a dwelling place for Hashem in this world. We find this also in this week's parsha, the idea that the Alter Rebbe talks about. Chanoch l'nar al pi darkoi. Gam ki askin la yosir mimenu. It says, educate the child in his way, and the Tanya says his way means it's not the true way. Nevertheless, we say as he gets older, he shouldn't leave that. So if it's just a child's way, why would he not give it up when he becomes older, mature, more understanding? Because there's the simplicity. Chanoch l'nar also is referring to the idea of the nasati esav, the food for the animal soul. When we start the path and we're dealing with our animal soul, we have to first try to transform our animal soul. So even when we age and we become beyond the animal, we become smart, we develop our understanding, we start having a relationship with Hashem, never lose the benefit, the milah, the uniqueness of the animal, the ability to connect Hashem unconditionally. That's unique to the animal over the person. So gam ki yaskin, when we get older, don't lose the path that you had in that youth when you were dealing with the animal inside you. And that's what the Rebbe is saying, is the idea of Teilechu. Real movement is when there's no limitations. Real movement is it's not tied down to your understanding. If you're connected to Hashem, your opportunities are endless. I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, chazak, kabbalah satar, b'simcha, b'pnimis, with joy and happiness. And we see the coming of Mashiach b'meir b'imenu. Good Shabbos.